Good afternoon, and what is a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Thursday the 17th of August. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I pulled out of here last time was a copy of Powers Perils, the role-playing game published by Avalon Hill in 1984, designed by Richard Snider. And what I've also got in here is Tower of the Dead. Tower of the Dead is the Avalon Hill Company's trademark name for its Powers and Perils adventure. So, set in the dark shadows of ruined Alzira, in mountains that strike fear to the core of the bravest heart, is a tower. Within this tower, shielded by the forces of darkest chaos and mortals who have been subverted into service through greed or power lust, is a force. The force hungers. It yearns for power. It thirsts for vengeance. It aches for total domination over all living men and complete control over the dead. The force is Nilgarathrib. Not lightly is his name spoken, or as I would point out, easily, Nigilgathreb. In the civilized and barbarian lands of Zurun and Philibba, it is synonymous with unholy terror, the totality and of evil and the power of chaos. He is the great lich, the single adversary who has threatened existence in these lands for centuries. In their wisdom, all live in absolute terror of his might. Because of their piety and love of life, the brave men of these lands strive to contain his evil and end it. Your valiant party ends this perpetual struggle at a time of ultimate crisis. Old Philibba seeks isolation from common man. Zurun stands defeated in the dark forest of evil. The secret minions of the Lich are near to gaining control of Zurun and the city of Porta. The Lord of the Tower, a festering and cancerous ball in the heart of mortal existence, must be balanced before his putrescent evil can spill forth and inundate all that is good in the world. You are the surgeons who can, through wisdom, valour and cunning, accomplish this deed. On you rests the fate of the innocent souls of many lands, all forfeit if the Lich is suffered to live. Tower of the Dead challenges a party of experienced adventurers to travel to the deadly streets of Porta, through the evil-infested forests and mountains, to the ultimate peril that waits within its walls. It dares you to face the might of Nilgarathrib, in an effort to destroy him and abort his plans of vengeance and domination before they can bear fruit. This supplement is designed for use by a referee and 4 to 6 players who are experienced with the Powers and Perils fantasy role-playing session. It contains a book and a referee control screen. The book details the Black Ring, the city of Porta, and encounters situations in areas that must be crossed or that can arise in the course of the adventure. The referee control screen is designed to aid the referee in the supplement. It contains important tables from the book that it will use as the adventure progresses. Tower of the Dead is a multi-level challenge that takes the party from single street brawling to combat against the ultimate magical power of the Powers and Perils world. It is not for the faint of heart, or faint at heart. It is a devastating challenge for any role-playing gamer. Ownership of Powers and Perils is a prerequisite for use of this module. Whoa, is that one hell of a turgid blurb. Just so overwritten, okay. Anyway, so what you've got the map, you've got a map of the region. You've got sort of like silhouettes. I say silhouettes, sort of like cutouts of sort of player characters, I'm presuming. And you've got this sort of like, well, okayish cover. Now I'm just going. This is designed for experienced players. What are you doing between the time you start playing and you get to the point where you are ready to play Tower of the Dead? Is there another adventure in between? Because Powers and Perils is not an easy role-playing game to learn and play. It looks fairly complex. And this requires people experienced with it. So inside we have Tower of the Dead, the booklet, and the what's we got in here, and the screen. So I'm just going to show you the screen. You've got all the tables on there. So on the front you've got tables for the magic table, casting speed, and so on, abysmal failure, table of squares, basically casting magic. And on the other side of the front, you have the combat tables, modifiers, phase movement, situation tables, like essentially all that for the benefit of the players. On the inside, you've got essentially the tower, table encounters, leaving Portia encounters, the gangs and so on, and an index of the adventure. So that's the screen you get with the book. The book itself. Okay, so quite nice artwork on the front. And essentially, that's sort of like a feature of all the books for Powers Perils I've looked at so far, which is essentially the 4 core rulebooks. And we open up, and we basically we have a history of Nilgar and Thrib. After the contents page, details of the Black Ring and the forces of Nilgar Thrib. And his thralls, his mercenaries, and his life sword. And we have some of his minions there. And even more of his minions. And I have to say, these sort of reminiscent of the style of artwork in the James Bond role-playing game, but they're much more sort of like they're much rougher. I mean, feel more sort of like thrown together. So lots of NPCs for the player characters to encounter, and we get onto the description of Porter, the town, city of Porter. Including the gangs, Purple Gang, Light Street Gang, the Red Dagger Gang, the Blue Devil Gang, Halley's Gang, the Sword Gang, the Tavern Gang. So multiple gangs, then political factions, portion characters, and we get yet more of this artwork. Various NPCs. Quite a lot of NPCs, in fact. And after the NPCs, we get to Adventure Section 1, and that's a sort of kind of like the Slippery Bear Inn, the location for essentially after the play characters arrive in Porter. Second floor, third floor, and the first contact with essentially NPC. Basically, he's going to be. Basically, he will basically undertake the sort of like take on the player character's services. We have a different another inn, the Copper Penny Inn. Another the Elite Swordsman Tavern. I like. We've got the first kind of like piece of artwork other than NPC thumbnails. I've got a street scene, Dead Man's Alley, a structural note E, basically at Coman Hall. And then essentially, the player characters will take on a contract to kind of face a swordsman, and after success, they'll have Adventure 2. And then visit Carrick's house, and Barris's palace. So this is very much sort of the first part. It's very much like a city adventure. Basically dealing with different gangs and factions and more. Before in Adventure Section 3, the player characters leave Portia or Porter and travel to Zendar Farm. We've got a nice farmhouse there. Quite detailed on this, and barracks they have to explore. And then look at the old house, and this is actually the kind of first rough building we've come across in the whole whole scenario so far, because all the buildings I've been looking at, these are all very architectural, kind of neat and tidy. They don't feel particularly lived in. And then location for the caverns of the dead. These feel a bit more organic with cavern systems. Which connect up to this building. And this is the Tower of the Dead itself. So you actually have to go through the caverns of the dead to get to the Tower of the Dead. And that's underground, and you'll begin climbing the Tower of the Dead from below. As you can see, and there you've got actually sort of like proper kind of turrets on the castle, the tower walls, and all the way up to the 4th floor. And the even tinier 5th floor, and the crown and nogle atop on the essentially on top of the 5th floor, which we would actually call the 4th floor. So, and then we've got a map of the town of the city of Portia on the back. So below the scenario itself, below the screen, what we also have is a referral card. So you essentially, you've got like a, you know, one of these, send one of those back, you get feedback, and then you basically, you send this one in, you refer a friend and you get a bonus. And then you have an advert, a flyer for Heroes magazine, which did actually provide some support for Powers and Perils. Not a great deal. I think it was the only coverage of the game outside of the actual role-playing game itself, really. So that is Tower of the Dead, a scenario from Powers and Perils, published by Avalon Hill in 1984. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. Back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.